Okay, here we are at the Waukegan Public Library in Waukegan, Illinois, and I'm with your name.
Elizabeth Stearns, Assistant Director of Community Services.
Elizabeth, what a wonderful public library you have here. Can you give us a little backstory of the library itself?
Well, our library was actually established in 1898, and we were originally a Carnegie Library. We've been in this building since 1964, but we are an award-winning library. We have amazing programs, and we work really hard to be a nimble organization that meets the community's needs while aligning with our mission.
What do you have here besides the books and periodicals?
We have an early learning center that is much more like a children's museum than it is like a traditional library. We have a literacy suite, 3,000 square feet devoted to literacy, both adult, family, and digital literacy. So we do a lot for the community.
And you've got a lot of events coming up, and one is the popular Ray Bradbury Storytelling Festival. Could you tell us about that?
Absolutely. That's our pride and joy. That is one of our award-winning events. As you may know, Ray Bradbury grew up here in Waukegan, lived here till he was about 13, and I think his years here were the most formative. Ray claims he can remember absolutely everything that happened to him, including his birth. So it gave him a rich background of the prairies, the landscape, the feeling of the Midwest that stayed with him through all of his writing. He felt like he could pull back any memory and then put it on paper.
Did he ever come back to Waukegan?
He did. He came back a couple of times, and then in 2006, I went out to visit him, and yeah, we became friends. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. In fact, I was scheduled to be out there 2 weeks after he died. I just missed him again. But what we did is we created this festival in his honor for several reasons. We were adjacent to the Genesee Theater, just kitty corner, when that was remodeled, and it's a perfect venue. And many people think of Ray as maybe a writer that wasn't relevant to today. And everything he wrote is completely relevant. And it's such a rich, he had thousands of short stories. He wrote every single day, from the time he was 14 on, every day. So he was prolific, but we wanted to tie his writing to current day, and we thought the tradition of oral storytelling would be the way that we could capture his writing while entertaining the community. They would learn more about literature, they'd learn more about the art of storytelling, and they'd get in the Genesee. So we put on 2 performances, one in the daytime for the school children, and we entertained between 700 and 1,000 school children, and one in the evening for adults and kids over 12 because it's a little scarier.
In fact, in some of his stories, he kind of based it around Waukegan? Or
Absolutely. Some of his most famous books were based in Waukegan, but he called it Greentown. So Dandelion Wine and its sequel, Farewell Summer, as well as Something Wicked This Way Comes, were all set in Waukegan.
Absolutely terrific. And how was the response from the audience the previous years of this festival?
Oh, they love it. You know, most people don't understand what storytelling is. They think it's a librarian or somebody reading a book. But really, it's more like an actor doing a monologue. And these actors are amazing. Yeah, they're some of the best in the industry. We make sure to hire the best.
And where are they from? And their name? Could you drop their names?
We've got Jim May coming this year. Jim May and Megan Wells come every year. And then this year we have some additional ones, including an actor from Hollywood who asked us if he could come out because he loves Ray Bradbury, and he'll be doing Pillars of Fire.
Probably when he passed away, did you get a lot of response from outside areas about Ray Bradbury, any historians?
We did, and we held an event in his honor that night in front of the library, candlelight vigil, and it was heartwarming how many people came out that night.
Okay, so this next one will probably be an honor or a tribute to?
This is complete Bradbury all night. We would often call Ray before the event and say, what were your favorite scary stories? And we try to work his scary stories that he was influenced by, as well as his works. But this year it's all Bradbury all day. So, and we'll close with a very poignant piece called Lime Vanilla Ice that you really have to hear. I get goosebumps thinking about it, to understand why that is a tribute to Ray.
What was so special about his stories?
You know, a lot of people think Ray's a science fiction writer, and I would challenge that to say he was a humanist. He placed stories about human relationships, conflicts, love, but he placed them in the future. But they could have been anywhere. Sometimes they were on other planets. But like his whole series about Mars was how we bring our problems wherever we go. And so, yes, we were on Mars, but we were creating pollution and people were fighting, and, you know, so they're very human stories. They're very human stories.
What's one of your favorite books or novels?
I would say Dandelion Wine for the richness of the language and the concepts of coming of age. It's my favorite coming of age story. But Fahrenheit 451 is the most prescient. And you read that and you applied what you read in there and think he wrote that in the 1950s? And it's all pretty relevant to what's happening today.
For those who haven't read his books, do you have many books coming in, correct, here at the library?
Oh, we have a large collection of his books. And I would say, if you're not a big reader, start with a short story. We have books of his short stories.
Well, let's plug the event. When, where, for the Storytelling Festival for Ray Bradbury?
It'd be Friday, October 26th at the Genesee Theater. You can buy your tickets at the box office in advance, online, or at the event. It starts at 7:30 that night for the adults. Now, if you're a teacher and you want to bring your classroom, contact the Genesee Theater and you can arrange that's only $5 a ticket to take for the children's performance. That's only for school children.
Okay. And then if anyone wants information about the Waukegan Public Library, is there a phone number or website?
Well, it's 847-623-2041 or WaukeganPL, as in Public Library, .org.
Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much for letting us down here at the Waukegan Public Library. It's a great library to come out, and especially the event that's coming out for the 7th Annual Ray Bradbury Storytelling Festival. And thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.